So if you look at my one, you'll see that when you press the flag, it's going to create all sorts of different shapes and different styles of flowers. Today we are going to learn about something called procedural programming. Procedural programming, that is the opposite of what we usually do. The opposite is what we usually do, called declarative programming. What's the difference between declarative programming and procedural programming? Now, I know they are big words, okay, but hear me out for a second. Declarative programming is what we usually do. We tell the computer that this is what we want to draw, and we draw it, and then this is how it's going to look, and this is exactly what it's going to do. Pretty much all the time, okay? We have done a little bit of procedural programming before. What is procedural programming? Procedural programming is where we get the computer to decide for us what to do, okay? So there are some times where we get the computer to do a little bit of randomization or a little bit of artwork that is not something that we want to focus our attention to. We want the computer to randomize it or create their own interpretation of it. And what we do as programmers is we have to define the parameters of how this procedural programming works. Okay? Did you know that the world has millions of different types of flowers? Okay, flowers that look really big, some that are really, really small, some that are colored in different ways. Some have 5 petals, some have 20 petals, some have more petals, some have less. There are flowers that attract different types of insects, and then there are flowers that are actually poisonous. Okay, there are many, many different flowers in the world. But if I said that I want you to draw a forest floor and then populate it with as many flowers, different flowers as you can, it might be a little bit difficult. And the reason is because there are so many different flowers, and it would take a lot of time for us to draw each different type of flower. Sure, if you draw one flower, then you can copy and paste it and then put it all around the place, but they're all going to look exactly the same, right? If it all looks exactly the same, it doesn't look as interesting. Whereas if we have a forest floor full of lots and lots of different flowers of different colors and different sizes and different shapes, not just different colors, that is going to be really, really cool, right? And we want to do that in one lesson, okay? This is called procedural programming, and that is what we tell the computer to help us do some designs, okay? We tell the computer, I want to design something like this, but these are your parameters, okay? What kind of parameters am I going to give the computer? Well, I'm going to start off by saying, choose what kind of style those petals are going to be, what style the petals are going to be, what color they're going to be. I'm going to get the computer to randomize that for me. I'm also going to get the computer to decide how many petals the flower has. We're going to end up drawing a forest floor with lots of different flowers, and it's all going to be done by computer. We want it to repeat, so when we say repeat 6, we want 6 petals, okay? But what happens if I want 7 petals? If I want 7 petals, then what does this number turn into? How do we decide on 60 degrees here? How do we decide on 60 degrees? All right, Ethan, let's see if you can tell us. How do we change the 60 degrees? What do we change it to?
360
divided by
7.
Good, good. And why is that? Because a circle is 360 degrees, right? And then if you want 7 petals, you need to space each petal apart by 360 degrees divided by 7.